from head coach Mike McCoy. 1:30. Man, I really don't know where to start with this game. I guess maybe let's just start with the defense. I thought the defense held up for as much as you can realistically expect a defense. Now, they still gave up the big play towards the end. Looked like a little bit on Amani Hooker, but still, and maybe the play call itself, but still for the most part, I mean, they got 4 sacks yesterday. They were putting pressure on them. They were forcing 3 and outs, and it just is like nobody could capitalize on the momentum the defense was creating. And I just want to give, again, another shout out to Denard Wilson, the job he is doing with as bare of a cupboard as he has. Because we have been pretty big critics of, or at least I have, of Denard Wilson at certain points. But over these last 4 or 5 weeks, he has been one of the best defensive coordinators when you take into account what he has and what they're allowing.
Yeah, guys injured, let alone who've been traded. With Big Jeff and Snead injured. I mean, man, phenomenal job. Tip the cap. He may not get a lot of credit when it's all said and done, when it's over, when the season's done. But, I thought he had a good game plan, and even in this game as well. So, it just didn't work out. That the defense played solid. Once again, though, when they needed to make a play, they couldn't make one.
Yeah.
That's, part of, complementary football. And hopefully, you look at the other side of it. And I saw Big Jeff kind of get frustrated after the game. But guess what? You should be worried about your side of the ball. And when you needed to make a play, y'all should have made a play. You can't control what happens on the offense. So I think he needs to kind of taper that down. That's stuff that you leave in-house. You don't point fingers. You don't ever do that.
Because it started on the sidelines.
Yeah, but I can see trying to get guys riled up. Let's go. I don't know what happened there as far as what the conversations were, but that's okay. But when you get in front of the media, now that's a different ball game. That's like being at home and your 2 brothers get in and fight. You never talk about that. We'll settle that. We'll figure it out, and we'll keep working. And I know he's frustrated. It's been a lot of it. But I just think, going to the media, especially, some guys are especially, I'm going to just categorize, which is unfair, but offensive guys are a little more sensitive when you're on the defensive and you're going to call them out, like publicly. That's one thing to do it in practice. That's totally fair. But I just think, I don't think that's a form of leadership, in my opinion. You don't call your teammates out publicly like that. Well, you just watch this. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. Remember Sam Darnold? I saw the interview. Didn't hear what the guy said, but the defensive guy got up there, and he defended Sam Darnold for throwing 4 interceptions. Yeah. See?
And they lost the game by 2 points.
Now, granted, they are a winning team.
Right.
So a little bit different, but he defended his guy.
Yeah.
Like publicly. The behind the scenes, like, dang, man, if he didn't throw 4 interceptions, we would have won the game.
Right.
Obviously. See? So I don't agree with that kind of style of leadership, because that's how you continue to divide the locker room. It's already division there now, just because you're not winning. You're not winning, and there's going to be a game where the offense is going to play great and the defense is going to play subpar. You got to know this. And so I just, I don't like it, but. He's frustrated. I get it, but I wouldn't have done that.
Because he said he wasn't going to sugarcoat it, and we'll hear from the clip here in just a few minutes. But he said he wasn't going to sugarcoat it, and I mean, at first, I guess
from the media perspective, we loved that he was honest.
Yeah,
but
I guess as a fan, maybe too, I love that he was honest, and I did love that he did say, well, I've already talked to everybody about this. But to your point, from the player side, the locker room side, what you're explaining to me now is like, it needs to stay behind there.
Yeah, that just to me, I don't like that style of leadership. But everybody has their style.
Yeah,
that's just me. What I would do, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because guess what? It's going to come right back at you. I mean, granted, I don't think it was a penalty. The penalty he got on the field goal, I thought it was horrific. I think and I think they made up calls to help that.
Yeah,
but throughout the game, but in game, in the moment, especially with emotions going, I mean, people could have called him out for that, even though it was a bad call. So,
Well, when I saw the flag, I immediately thinking he touched that dang long snapper again because he's done it before. He's been called for it before. And then when you see the replay, you're like, what are they doing?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I understood the rule, and so because I don't know all the rules for sure.
He's got to be purposefully touching or messing with the head and neck area, and he didn't do that at all.
At all. So it's there, but hey, just imagine if, you're a worker here at the station and you're Ross and he's having trouble overtime, let's say like the first 10 days. And then all of a sudden you just call him out for messing up on all the things he did. You think that's right? No, you can be behind supporting him, keep pushing him. Hey, man, this is what we got to do. Granted, it's frustrating. That's the comparison. I don't like that stuff. What is that benefiting? Is that helping the team? You think that's really helping the team?
To be honest, I don't really know.
You think the coaches haven't already called out players and those things? I mean, it's just going a little. It starts that finger pointing, especially when you're losing.
That is true. So let's talk more about that. We'll hear from Big Jeff more about that coming up next because we got Mike McCoy at 1:30. We're going to have a little different schedule here on the show. But coming up next, we'll continue our talk by Big Jeff. We'll hear about it. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
I love living in Middle Tennessee. We've got great restaurants, entertainment, sports, and one of the nation's top Ford dealers right here in our backyard. Two Rivers Ford. Remember that name. Two Rivers has been a staple in our community since 1983. They're locally owned. They have a non-commissioned sales team, and they sell below MSRP. They've been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay though.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Stores, 615-737-1045. We're having a thoughtful discussion on Jeffrey Simmons' comments, so let's hear Jeffrey Simmons' comments after the locker room. He was asked about the offensive performance, the false starts, this and that. Here's what Jeffrey Simmons had to say.
Can't have that many false starts. We need to be better. I mean, we can't keep sitting up here saying the same thing, trying to sugarcoat it for the media, for anybody. And I said it in the locker room, I said it on the field. I'm tired of sugarcoating. I mean, we need to be better. At the end of the day, we need to protect Cam better. Simple.
How do you guys feel as a defense when knowing if you give up 2 touchdowns or or whatever, that's going to be hard to win?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's about complementary football. We have to play better team football. Sometimes the offense can be playing good, sometimes the defense, but how can we play good as a team, 3 phases? We not playing good team football right now, and it's showing. And Mike said it at practice Friday. We had freaking 4 false starts Friday. We playing at home. We shouldn't have that many false starts. Don't care. Like I'm tired of saving feelings. I'm tired of losing. That's what I'm tired of doing. I mean, guys on this team fighting. Reed fighting. Arden, we fought our way back from injuries. That's because the team and this game means so much to us. Everybody had to take that same approach. Take this approach. We grown men. Everybody have a job to do, and we need to attack this game. We need to attack every day with a better attitude. And like I said, we need to play better football as a team. But we're not.
Okay, so he uses a lot of we.
Yeah, he did.
You know, I did find it funny, and I didn't notice it when we played it last night, and I listened to it last night, but Ramon had brought it up this morning, but someone in the back says game ball AK down the drain.
Yeah, we're talking about Arden Key.
Yeah, Arden Key.
Because he finished with 1.5. I thought he had 2 seconds, but 1.5.
Well, that's what pisses me off more than anything Jeff said in that clip at the start. Why we got people laughing in the background and causing a commotion? What is there to be laughing about? We suck. We're 1-9. Should anybody be laughing after the game? Like, and I'm not saying it was Arden Key. I'm just using him as an example.
Right, I don't think it was.
Yeah, I think it's someone else.
No, I don't think it was. I'm just using him as an example because he played well yesterday. Oh, well, we should be laughing because I played well yesterday. I had a sack and a half, good game, first game back from injury. It's fun. Ain't nothing funny. They're trash.
Well, what true leadership is defensive guys, especially the leader in Big Jeff, should be looking at what they could have done to help the team when they're struggling on offense. Instead of looking on the other side, you're supposed to be saying, well, what we could have done, we could have got a critical stop to help us win this game. Of all the things that happened in this game, we played well. We couldn't get the one thing done when we needed it the most, to get it back to our offense to see if they could eventually get a spark. So that's how you have to approach it. You can't do it. I know he's frustrated. I'm sure all the other guys are. But I just wouldn't take that tag publicly, especially with a team that's undermanned. And I know they played well. This is the first, game after a bye week, at least defensively, consistently, except for plays that they needed to make, which they shown before that they couldn't make the play when it really counted defensively. But he was right on all the other counts of we got to play complementary football and those things. But I don't know about the false start stuff. I think you had some information on that as far as what happened on Friday practice.
He said 4 false starts on Friday's practice, and I guess PK has investigated that claim, and he's put out there were 2 false starts. One of them was on the practice squad offensive line that was the scout team for Houston. Right. Mm-hmm. So it was technically
don't count.
That was Houston's offensive line that technically got the penalty, the false start penalty. The other one was on a wide receiver. And so it wasn't on any of the player. I don't know which wide receiver it was, and obviously they gave it Gunnar Helm was all 3 of the pass catchers on the Gunnar Helm false start all moved, but it wasn't on any of the starting offensive linemen. So they didn't have that issue in practice the way that he's trying to explain it, according to what PK has investigated and found out. So, I'm with you. It's just I look at that Amani Hooker, Darrell Baker Jr., Nico Collins catches the ball in between them because of the cover 2 play call that was called. That's a moment where the defense
got to come up with
the play.
First and foremost, you had to know that they were going to Nico Collins. So you can't play it just normal cover 2. You got to think as though, especially at the safety position, that they're going to come at you and they're going to him because they show that all game.
Right.
So the cover 2 was okay because it is a form of doubling to a certain extent, but you got to be a little tighter there. Hooker got to be a half step.
I mean, it was
sooner.
a 3rd and 16.
Yeah, they got the first down. You knew they were going there. I was saying they're going to go to Nico Collins.
Well, as soon because from the broadcast angle that I was watching, you saw Darrell Baker Jr. kind of make a weird move right after the ball was snapped, and I was like, oh man, they're going. It's Nico.
Yeah,
no doubt. I mean, you knew where you're going to go there anyway.
Well,
but I'm just saying.
I thought Baker did a good job. He kind of disguised. He lined up in press like he was going to be a man, and then he kind of eased out of there some form of bail before the snap and to disguise. And he could have turned back and been 2-man, or he could have jammed him. Only thing I wish he would have done was get his hands on him, like within the 5-yard rule.
Yeah.
That would have gave you that half a step that helps the safety get there sooner. It all plays together. So that's probably the only thing. Everything else was, good. You just, wish Hooker could make the play, or at least tip the ball, but dang, you knew they were going.
A safety that you just extended needs to make a play when it matters like that.
Well, it's not just because he got it.
Well, I know, but I mean, anybody does. But I'm just saying, especially because of that. Like this defense,
I don't think that way. I think of every play as though the same, whether that guy got an extension or not. He got an extension because he deserved the extension. Now, is he playing up to par, and do you wish he could have made that play? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But what did I just say? I just said that Baker should have got his hands on him, so the corner's supposed to help him out.
Yeah.
Like, you can't let this guy just free release. He still has to jam him, at least make him. Instead of he got to run a straight line, you got to make him run. See, then that bought you time. That little bit of detail right there changes. That's the conversation you're supposed to be having at practice.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, get your hands on him just a little bit. Make him just reroute for a half split of a second. And then guess what? That'll give me that extra time I need to get there on that play.
That's why I was saying, like, as soon as the snap was done, I was like, well, they're going to Nico. Nico's going to catch it. Like, I didn't see anything else other than right with the ball.
By the way,
was.
Yours truly, Davis Mills, with an excellent throw.
It was a great throw.
Oh, yeah. That was starter throw.
That was a good throw.
Yeah, you said he was trash.
I did not say he was trash.
What did you say on the pregame show? You didn't say he was trash, but you alluded to that. Like he was some bum.
No, you guys interpret it that way.
What did you say?
No, I said you should expect Cam Ward to look better than Davis Mills.
And I said that's not
true. You did say that, but
that's
I wasn't alluding that Davis Mills was trash. I'm just saying that you want to see more from Cam Ward. And I saw a little bit from Cam Ward.
So you expect Cam Ward to be better, the number 1 pick to be better than a 6-year veteran who's started probably 30 games.
I just want to see Cam Ward play better than Davis Mills. Doesn't have to, what I'm saying? Like, I just want to see him be better.
That's the wrong. He's not going to be better with a guy in year 6 of 30 starts and guy year 1 at 10 starts. It's not going to happen.
Gotcha.
Not with this team.
But
not with the
just
people
to clarify, we have to go to break. But just to clarify, I never called Davis Mills trash.
not with the team that's around. I get if he had some veteran players who are proven in this league. Hey, we need more. But I thought Cam Ward, even though they didn't move the ball, I saw some things that were positive. I still don't like him, fumbling the ball. This was the first time that I felt like there were times he didn't feel the pocket presence that he has. The one fumble, like he got bumped. Like you don't feel that? Like you didn't feel that they were closing in? He had the ball down about to try to throw it.
Yeah.
No, man. That unacceptable, in my opinion.
We'll talk more about Cam Moore because we got to go, and we'll hear from Mike McCoy by the time we come back. Maybe, hopefully. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. We should be joined by Mike McCoy, whose press conference is coming up here in just a moment. Once that is up, we'll throw it to him. And we'll hear what he has to say, because he had some interesting comments yesterday I also want to touch on. But here's Mike McCoy from St. Thomas Sports Park.
What I told you after the game, where we're at today. But I'd just like to make another comment on Calvin. It's the tough part of the business. It really is. And having spent a year with him in Jacksonville and then coming here, knowing what the game means to him, being voted a team captain, it's tough. This is a tough one. And he worked so hard to get back, to be able to play in the game. And then for the first play, after making a big play for us to start the game, it's tough. That was a tough one to walk on the field and kind of see that. So I just really want to thank him for everything, for who he is and what he's done for this team up to this point in time. Okay, that'll get me to the game. As you look at it, we knew what type of game it was going to be, the way they're going to play, the style of play, what we were going to do to have to beat them. You go through it and you look at every play from the first play to the very end, and there's plenty of positive in there, but you do enough things to get beat by a good football team. But you look at the way the defense started the game, the big stop there, the sack by Cody, the offense going down and getting points. And as the game goes on, there's certain things that come up. And then, you look at it, the way the defense played throughout the game, and there's always going to be a couple plays you wish you had back, a couple big conversions that we gave up. And then offensively, you look at it, the way we finished the game, after losing, the three receivers going out there, the way they did in the time of the game, and then the way the coaches and the players kind of adjusted in a 12 personnel to go down there and drive 95 yards like they did is outstanding. And that's the way, you love to see the guys do that. So give those guys a ton of credit for what they did. But it just goes down to you can't beat yourself against a good football team with the false start penalties. Number of 3 and outs, giving up key conversions on third down on the defense side of the ball, and just some little things that get you beat on a good football team. So we got to continue to keep fighting. That's the only way to do it. Keep working and move on. And move on to the next one. So
how was Calvin doing? And how did he take what happened yesterday?
That's a tough one. You go on the field, something's the matter. You're not exactly sure what it is. It's then you see him. That's the first thing I did when I went in at halftime to find out where he was, and he was crushed, obviously. And I've got a great relationship with Calvin. It started back in Jacksonville. And you just love the way he works every day. He truly comes out here and he works his tail off, and the way he runs and the way he only knows how to play football one way, and that's all out. And it's such an honor for him to be a captain, like I mentioned, and I think that it meant so much to him, and for him to get back, I think really all the guys that had been out for X number of weeks, what the game means to them, they're great examples for the younger players on what it means to play this game, and it sucks that Calvin he got injured.
How do you plan to move forward at receiver?
Well, we're gonna wait and see the health of the other guys, like we talked about, that got dinged also later in the game, and just it'll be by committee as of right now, and we're going to work through it. It's Monday, so we'll kind of work through those things, and we always talk about it's players, and a great example of that is the last drive offensively. It's players going down and making plays and guys stepping up, so that goes into the game planning week in and week out on what we think is with the personnel you have because of injuries, your skilled players you have. Maybe it's more multiple personnel groupings, things like that. But our job is to put the players in a position to be successful. So,
as you evaluate the options, what are some of the things that
you got your glasses back on? I see, because you got that light blinking at me. Yeah.
So as far as what Restrepo, what are some of the things that he would have to do to get an opportunity to get caught up and get some action?
Well, we'll look at where the roster is coming later in the week on the health of everybody and kind of see where it is. And he's done a great job of starting to work more in the kicking game. That was something he didn't do it as much of early on, and then he understands the importance of being in the kicking game. So those are some of the things, but we'll see what happens, throughout the week to see, what our options are going to be moving forward.
How
after the Colts game, you expressed some regret about your fourth down decision. Are you anywhere on the regret meter about your fourth down decision in this one?
No, not at all. We were going to take the points there in that situation, the way our defense was playing and everything, and the score of the game at the time. No, I have no regrets at all.
Some guys taking the points, Mike.
Go ahead.
Some guys expressed a lot of frustration in the locker room after the game, most notably Jeff. What's your take as a coach on guys, voicing their concerns like that?
I don't know. I mean, Jeff wants to win. Jeff's a very competitive person, just like everybody in that locker room. They want to win. So I understand the frustrations, and there's things that are said at times, and it's just guys have a burning desire to win and want to be great, and so they work so hard, and that's the frustrating thing for everybody is you're in this to win, and you play so hard, you work so hard, you prepare during the week to do certain things a certain way. So I understand it.
When you talk about those fourth down decisions, you often say we, the people you're discussing with. What is the brain trust there, and can you kind of talk us through when the decisions start, when the discussions start, and kind of how they are made in the moment?
Well, you always talk, you have when you go in, you always sit down and say, okay, how are we going to approach the game? What are we doing on a week-to-week basis? You talk about we have a situational meeting at times. Okay, here's where certain things are. Here's where, where's our kick line start on a week-to-week basis? What team are you playing? How are you going to, analyze certain situations when they come up? There's so many other things that come into it during the game also. What is the score of the game? Where is the field position? How is your team playing? So there's a number of different things, and it's not always going to be the same. It's not going to be the same week in and week out. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, when you do arrive at the decision, and how is that process made? Is that you making a choice?
I make the call. Okay. I make the call.
Can you talk us through kind of the route that you've leaned conservative on these decisions? Did your mentors kind of bring you up as a conservative guy? Like, what's the root of that for you?
No, I'm going to go in every time you've asked me this question, I'm going to give you the same answer. I'm going to do what I think at the time is the best for the football team. And what is the situation?
Consistently. So I'm wondering what the core.
I've answered this question a number of times for you, so I'm good.
How was you evaluate maybe Cam's day yesterday?
I think Cam, there's a couple plays you'll say, I think he would tell you right, if you asked him today too, there's a couple plays you wish you had back, but I think he played well. I think there's a number of, he audibled the one time when he got the ball to Mason there, which was a great check during the game. You guys have been asking a number of times about him taking off and running, and I think he had, the 3 times he ran the ball yesterday were big plays for us. But overall, I think he played well, and happy with the way he played. Unfortunately, there's a couple plays in there you look back, say, God, I wish we would have made those plays for one reason or another. But that's the game. You're not going to hit every one of them, but it was a good game for him.
It seemed like he was getting rid of the ball a little bit faster. Would you say like he was more decisive, or was that game plan, or would you even agree to that?
Well, no, I think 51 and 55 have a little bit to do with that too. Going in with the game plan of understanding, those two guys, and I give our guys credit for the majority of the game. We kind of neutralized those two on the edges, and that was a big plan of getting the ball out of your hand. But I think that also comes with experience and the growth part of Cam, where he was at, and understanding of what he needs to do against a good defense. That's a great defense. And understanding the challenges of not being able to hold the ball, because if you hold it too long, that's when those guys break free and they wreak havoc on you. But I think that it was a really good game for him. I like the way he played.
The defense, Mike, to your point about the Texans defense struggling to run the football for you guys yesterday.
Yeah.
It's kind of been inconsistent all year long. What's really kind of keeping that from breaking through?
That wasn't, we can't run the ball like that. That was not good yesterday. The limited number of carries, obviously you'd like to run it more. But we weren't having the success you want to, and give them credit for certain things. There's certain things we've run against them in the past that didn't work, didn't have the same results the other day. But we have to run the football and execute better.
Why were there so many false starts, especially with JC, in a game where you're at home and the crowd's not really factoring in at all?
Yeah, that's something we have to. You can't have 5 false starts in a game. And that's something I know you guys all asked JC about it after the game. He told you, gave you his reason, but it's something we definitely have to clean up. That's unacceptable. Then there was also the one was on Cam with changing the cadence, doing certain things, so that was on him. He understands that. And then, the center had, Cush had the one. So we got to clean that. You can't have 5 in a game. It's hard enough against a team.
To that end, you talked about when you took the job, got moved into this role, how one of your main things was going to be accountability across the board.
Yep.
How do you make an offensive line accountable, especially for those pre-snap penalties, considering where your depth is?
Well, you address it as a team. Same thing if you say certain things to them during the sideline, during the game on the sideline. You approach them and tell them this we cannot have, this is unacceptable. We can't have this, and they all understand. They're not trying to make the mistakes, but that's something we have to clean up. That's a pre-snap penalty against a really good team. I mean, 1's bad enough as it is, but 5, we can't have it.
Jeff said there were 4 on Friday. Was he maybe exaggerating to make a point?
Yeah, we've talked about this, and there was 2 on Friday. The second play of the defense from the look team, the second play someone had a false start, and the wide receiver the first play of the team period for the offense had one. So there was the 2, and that's when I spoke up at practice.
What's your sense, Mike, I guess, what kind of vibe do you get from the defense relative to their feeling about the offense's struggles over the last few weeks?
Well, I think at times they're competitors, and I think everybody is doing everything they can to win. And I think so when there's times where leaders are going to speak up, and that's what leaders do.
The television broadcast mentioned that you guys had brought in at some point Troy Aikman and Peyton Manning to talk to Cam about struggling at the beginning of your career. Can you maybe tell us more about what happened there?
I don't know anything about that, to be honest with you. Okay. I was not there for that.
When you talk, sorry to follow up on my question, how do you, I guess, you allow leaders to speak up, but you want to keep the overall tenor and mood of the locker room in check. I guess, how much do you allow them to say, and how much input do you have to keep everything even keel there?
Well, it's all about the team, and I want everybody to stick together. Everyone is going to express their opinions differently, and I think everybody, the guys do it different ways, and at certain times in the heat of the battle, someone may say something, but I think we're trying to win, and that's what leaders, they're going to go out and say certain things, and a guy might say it a little different than some other guys, but they're leading.
What were the teaching points on that last 3rd down completion by the Texans today after you'd seen the film and got with the guys? What were the teaching points, and does it illustrate how thin the margins are, that one detail, one play can be the difference?
Yeah, it's everything matters. All those little details are critical, and we got to drop with more depth. Force them to throw that ball underneath. Throw it to the flat, rally to the ball, and just because the quarterback, when you're playing a certain way and you get a certain depth, he's going to check that ball down more often than not. So we got to get more depth there and don't allow them. I'll say this: he made a phenomenal throw, but we can't allow him to make that throw. We got to force him to say, okay, check the ball underneath, rally the ball, punt it, and let's go see what the offense does.
I'm curious, Winston.
Oh, love what he's doing. I love what Kevin's doing right now. You could see, and I talked to him a number of times during the game, and like I told you guys for weeks now, I'm learning about these guys more on the defensive side because I wasn't with them as much, obviously, in the offseason or during training camp, and just to talk to him during the game, and you could see the confidence growing in his play. And I was talking to the staff earlier, or talking to Bones earlier about it. There's a play in the special teams that he was on the backside of something, and you could see all of a sudden, here comes 23 flying across the field, and there was some juice. I mean, he plays extremely fast, and I think he's getting more and more confidence. And talking to him during the game, it's just, you can see it. It's getting easier for him. So he's got a really bright future, and that's the beauty of it, is when you play these younger guys, you can see them starting to go this way and play with more confidence. That's what it's all about. I'm happy for those guys.
Curious what your philosophy is as far as allowing the flow of the game to dictate play calling, as opposed to making your play calling dictate the flow of the game.
Well, I think it's kind of a combination of both, because you go in with a certain game plan, but then how is the game going? You adjust. A great example is the last drive of the game. We weren't expecting to be in that situation in a 12 personnel grouping. Usually might be guys in different positions doing certain things. So there's always going to be changes during a game, and what are you doing well at that time? I mean, back in the day, he's running it 50-plus times with Tim Tebow playing quarterback and throwing it a couple times in the game. Then you flip that, you play with Peyton Manning, and you're throwing it X number of times and run it. So it's the same thing here. It's week to week, it changes. You might go into a plan, and they take something away, and you say, we got to do more of the other. Or there's the same thing with concepts. There's certain schemes because all of a sudden the team might change coverages and do more, play more man coverage than you thought it was going to be zone this week. So now you get more to your man beaters. So that's all part of coaching and game planning and play calling.
Given your depletion, do you hope maybe that 95-yard drive helps Cam maybe moving forward?
Well, I think it's a step in the right direction of when the game's on the line, going out there and doing that. And it's a great example too of completions, just completions, moving it down, starting the drive with a positive play. The throw he made to Gunner, you can't get any better coverage than that. It was a perfect throw and a great catch, and it was a successful play. So, you like to see the growth that he made yesterday in the game.
Given the depleted situation at wide receiver now, might you have to rely more on the tight ends to be playmakers in this offense until people can get healthy?
Yeah, I think it's going to be every week. It's going to be players. Who do you have available, and putting those players in a position to be successful is definitely a key. That's part of adjusting your game plan and see who's available and what you think is best that week. So we'll have to adjust that.
You've coached teams before that built around the young quarterback, like teams are doing here, but also the team playing this week, Seattle. You've coached those teams that went out and got the free agent quarterback before. Yeah. Can you just tell me the pros and cons of team building under both of those strategies? Is it easier with one? Is it harder with one? Or does it kind of all quarterbacking is quarterbacking?
Oh, no. It's, when you have a veteran, they've been through it. And Sam's been on a couple teams, and he's taken his lumps at different places. And I do think from time to time, though, a change of scenery is the best thing for players. You might not be, might not be successful on this team. All of a sudden, you go somewhere like he was last year, the success he had, and then obviously he was a free agent. And he went here, and he's playing with a very talented roster there, and the success he's had. So when you have the veteran, they've done it before. And then there's the rookie situation where there's the first time that you go in there and you see a team, you see a certain defensive coordinator for the first time, and you take your lumps at times, and there's been the ups and downs this year with Cam, and you continue to grow. And then you see the way he played yesterday, the second time he played that coordinator, and the way they call the games. And it's the same thing for somebody like Sam. He's played a number of years and against certain teams with different teams, things like that. So you grow as it. So you kind of always try to do what your players do best. And obviously you have the veteran that's played a lot of football. There's a little more experience with the protections and doing certain things. And but it's young players got to learn somehow. All right, thank you all. See you later in the week.
All right, that was head coach of the Tennessee Titans, Mike McCoy, talking about team building, even though he's not going to be on the roster or not be coaching this team next year. That's an odd question at the end.
That's my friend.
We had a discussion during this press conference while it was going on because you asked me what the analytics said about the 4th and 2 situation, and he says he has no regrets for taking the points. And last night, my feelings haven't changed since last night. Last night, my initial instinct was, sure, I would love for them to go for it just because who the hell cares about this season anyway. But from a perspective of watching this team and the game that they were in, I didn't really care either way. Whether they kicked the field goal on 4th and 2 or went for it on 4th and 2. Would I have gone for it? Sure. But I understand it. What I didn't like, though, was his explanation last night, Blaine. And what he said last night was defending the 4th and 2. And he said it here today, too. It's about the flow of the game and what type of game you are in and of itself. So that feel is what that feels like, feeling for the game. But then he follows that up and continues talking and says, well, we're predetermined it. So we already know going into the game where, are we going for it on the 4th and 2 in this situation in the field? So to me, that does not feel like flow with the game. That feels like you came in with a plan, you're going to stick to it. and maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but that he used the term predetermined.
He said predetermined where we're based on where
we're at
on the field.
On the field. So, but that's not feel of the game for me. I mean, because the game changes when you're in the moment. So I don't know. Like for me, it's the method to get to. I guess the process is what I'm struggling with, not necessarily the results in this particular.
Actually,
instance.
I agree with the decision that he did there in game, whether field or by predetermined or analytics.
Yeah,
I'm sure they all were a little conflicting because I think there was a little conflict for me. Like at one of them, I said this would have got me fired. I would have went forward, and naturally they didn't. The game was a low scoring game, and to me that dictates that when he's talking about flow, that you take the points. The points are going to be hard to come by in a low scoring game, so you always take the points, whether it was 4th and 1, 4th and 2. The way the game was flowing, it was kind of that way. It was 3-0 at halftime. So you knew it was going to be a low-scoring game unless something changed at halftime, which could have.
First time the Tennessee Titans have held an opponent scoreless since Kansas City Chiefs in 2021.
Oh, good.
In a half.
So, I like the decision really there to take the points.
And listen, we've talked about in this show. I've said it numerous times. There's nothing to lose, and I get that situation.
I get the fan side of it.
I get
go
it.
for it.
I understand.
Why not?
I totally understand. That's why I'm very indifferent towards it. I'm not pounding the table one way or the other because, to your point, it was a low-scoring game, and at this point, your defense had held up, and it's much better to go ahead and walk away with the points at that point of the game. And hey. Tennessee Titans were in it all the way up to 3rd and 16.
And the running game was zipped.
Right.
So you knew that the Texans, they knew that you were going to throw the ball.
Yeah.
So then they were going to come up with a scheme blitz, and you're going to have to, somebody was going to have to make a play. And the odds that everything and the timing and where it's going to, I thought it was the right call. I think it was a no-brainer. So he kind of used two different references. I think, which led him down to they had predetermined. It's like, if we get in this situation, I think is what he meant.
Yeah.
And it's a low-scoring game, I'm not going to go for it. We're going to kick the ball.
Yeah.
That's what he's referencing. Then in the flow of the game, that could have changed.
Right.
If he was running the football, hey, 4th and 2, we've been getting chunks of 5 every time we run.
As long as they don't call Wildcat.
Maybe I run the ball there.
Yeah.
See, so I think that's what he's talking about.
And because that run game, like we said, non-existent. 0.8 yards per carry for just Tajay Spears.
4 carries all game.
Yeah, he didn't deserve to get more, to be honest. I mean, you had to probably stick with the run game more with Tony Pollard than Tajay Spears at that point, because I do think they needed more than just 14 rushing attempts between the two running backs, but Tajay Spears wasn't getting it done. And
But how is 4 enough of a sample size to determine?
I mean, we're talking about the running backs, but if you don't have
the run blocking, it was bad.
The linemen, there was not holes, so we could talk about who should have got more carries, but at the same time,
it really comes down to the offensive line.
I don't care who was getting the ball; they got a block.
Right.
There weren't a lot of holes. I think there was one time Pollard hit one for about 8, and I was like, oh man, hopefully it was early in the game that can continue that, but that never happened again.
Well, and it gets to the point of the whole thing, too, is that he wanted to run the ball more. They couldn't run the ball.
Yeah,
I mean, Houston said, Cam Ward, you're going to have to beat us.
Yeah, and Cam Ward couldn't beat him.
Nope. And there's a lot of, context to that, but to the point.
Yeah.
That's what they said, and they were right?
Yeah, well, that's what actually happened.
Yeah.
He didn't beat him. I thought Cam Ward actually played one of his better games, but he still missed. I'm going to give it the term layup throws that every NFL starting quarterback makes. And I called it drop it in the bucket on the sideline. He missed a couple of those. Naturally, he missed Kinsey twice. Whether you say he ran the right route or whatever, I don't know, but he missed them. And just think, if those 4 plays happened, that's all on Cam Ward. And by the way, to take away the fumble, we could talk about the blocking all you want to, but you got to have some pocket presence there, which I'm shocked because he has really good pocket presence. He didn't feel the pressure and it caving in on him, and then he fumbled the ball. So I just think those 5 plays can't happen. So he threw the ball, he got tackled on the sideline, he threw it out of bounds. So we're making progress there. That's what I'm talking about. Normal quarterback acts that you gotta know you gotta do. There still was time he's looking for the home run during the game, and it's pretty clear cut. I'm watching his head, his eye. I mean, you can, and then they lost where he's supposed to go. he looked too long, and then it's going to cave in on him. So I think it got skewed a little bit. His stats on him getting rid of the ball on time, they had a great game plan. I actually liked the game plan in this game, except they couldn't run the ball. Is he had some quick throws, boom, 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 boom. But there were times where he really didn't want to throw quick, and he did the dump down because they were kind of running 2 minute. I'm going to say give it that term, but it wasn't 2 minute. He was throwing down to Tajay on the drop down. Well, he was looking for the deep ball, and he kept dumping down. And guess what? That skewed that number that he was getting rid of the ball on time.
Yeah.
See, in reality, it was probably 50-50 that I was seeing him getting rid of the ball on time. I was going 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. And I brought this up before. They used to have a horn for McNair because he was a runner early in his career. And they got a horn after 1,000, that horn goes off. That means you're supposed to have gotten rid of the ball or pressure is going to be there and you got to start maneuvering in the pocket looking, for another open guy. And I don't think he has that internal clock. When I watch him, I feel like he's still playing like he's in college, that he can make it on his own and he can do it on his own. And until he fights against that and goes through timing, then he'll be where he needs to be. And I feel like he should be starting that corner turn right now. And I think that's why I thought maybe this has been critical, where I thought this was his best game.
I would agree with you. I do.
I really did. And maybe because of the bye, he watched himself. He's very critical of himself.
And all the plays felt like they happened in big moments too. Yeah. And so when you have that kind of mixed with it, but I do think that this was his best game. I would be on board with that with you.
Yeah, I just, I just want to see him do more. But he's also out there with injured, receivers.
No Chimere DK. Calvin Ridley goes down in the first play.
That's tough.
That was tough.
And guess what? I kept praying that this may have been a blessing. Here's why I would say that. Why would I say that? Because guess what? They start throwing to the freaking tight ends.
Yeah, that is true.
And I kept on saying, maybe they'll keep throwing to the tight ends because the receivers,
they had to adjust. They had their hands forced, which sucks that you have to have a guy get a broken fibula and a chest contusion for you to start getting the tight ends involved.
Right.
And what did they do? They had success when 12 personnel all the way down the field because Chig and Gunner have been your two most reliable.
For it, and they were and it worked. Like I felt, man, I wish they just keep that going. Like, let's keep it going until they stop it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like, just keep going until they stop it. And Chig was carving them up. I thought Gunnar Helm looked great. Again, he's so reliable when he is targeted.
That route.
Yeah.
And then Chig is, I'm telling you, in
Chig
space.
put Will Anderson on his behind in a couple of run blocks.
Yeah.
Or pass blocks. I can't remember which one they were, but I know he's put him on their behind. But still, get these tight ends involved. I mean, and you're probably going to have to, depending on what DK it does, what Ian Manor does throughout the week. We'll get updates as those go on. Coming up next, we'll talk more about J.C. Latham. We'll also give out our game balls and lame calls. This is cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Peptide therapy is great for the holidays. We know the holidays are right around the corner. And the approach to weight loss at Edge Peptide Hormone Therapy is different. We make sure all the patients have extensive lab work and face-to-face conversation in office with our nurse practitioners to create a customized treatment plan tailored to your specific needs. And they use only U.S.-based FDA-audited compounding pharmacies because knowing where your peptides come from always matters. So enjoy access to their in-body scanner to track weight loss and make sure you are maintaining muscle mass. You also got to pay attention to lower your A1C, keeping your cravings in check, prioritizing protein, and having someone guide your journey from start to finish. So all you have to do is call the team at Edge Peptide for all of your wellness questions at 615-724-1878. That's 724-1878 or edgepeptide.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. We're broadcasting live from the 104.5 The Zone studio, Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. All right, Blaine. I want to talk about the fumble real quick because I thought we had a really good discussion. I think the people need to hear it. We both think that there is an opportunity to make a play, but at the point that he decides to throw the ball, he probably just needed to hold on to the ball. Because there's a little bit of good, a little bit of bad, because he does do a good job of trying to look off the safety in this cover 3 formation. Take everybody through what you saw in that play.
Yeah, it was cover 3, and what he did was they had a flat route on the left side, so he tried to look off the safety thinking that was going to get the safety to move. Well, the flat route is not going to get the post safety guy in the hole to move because he's not a threat vertically. He thought he would move, and then he knew where he was going to go with the ball, and he was going to go down the middle of the field to, I think it was DK, and he was still there. The safety wasn't going to move unless he had a vertical threat on the other side. So there was a no-go, and then he was going to still try to make the throw, which is too late. He realized, I didn't have enough space to really get it in there. It was going to be a tight window throw if he even made it. So I just think it's still him trying to hit the home run regardless. That's not going to – he has to have a vertical threat to get the safety to move out of the hole.
Yeah.
Let him bite it for real bite.
Because Van's route really isn't deep enough to get that safety to move.
No, and that's where it's wrong. So I don't know if that's coaching or is that just him. But he did look at the guy, but that guy wasn't a threat to the post safety.
Yeah.
See?
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, and it's not to let the offensive line off the hook, but when you are going through those progressions and you have sort of a slower developing play or longer developing play, you either needed to have gone to the out, see that your guy's not open, and sense the pressure coming. And if you're not don't have the time to pull the trigger because your offensive line didn't hold up, you got to have ball security.
Yeah, right. Well, first and foremost, I wouldn't have done that. I would have went to the quick play because they had it play covered, and they needed to have 2 vertical threats to threaten him to make him move. He only had 1. So where is he going?
Yeah.
Like, so, he should have jumped it down right off the bat. It should have been a no-brainer pre-snap read.
Because the action is going to, because it's not just, I believe this is Elikiah Manor, but either way, it's not just Elikiah Manor going deep on that side of the field or that side of the
other guy's running a go.
You have the other guy, too. So why would the safety go down to Van Jefferson, who's already got a guy kind of on him?
Well, here's what that concept should have been. If you're going to do the dig guy going across, let's say it was DK.
Yeah.
The guy that ran the go, guess what he should run? A post. Now you're high-lowing the safety, and you put him in conflict, and he's going to have to take one of them, the deeper one or the shorter one. Then that's when you make those kind of throws. He ran a go.
Yeah.
So that concept wasn't going to get the safety to move.
No.
Trust me, being a safety that
But you did say it was a little bit of a veteran move for him to do the look-off.
Yeah, but that look-off wasn't a vertical threat. I didn't tell you the whole story. It wasn't a vertical threat.
Yeah. So it needed to be a vertical threat for that to really matter.
For that to make that safety move.
Yeah,
yes.
for the look off to be effective.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man.
Mm-hmm. Watch this.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning got me. Then I saw the next week Ed Reed, much better. That's why he's got the HOF behind his name. He took 2 steps like he was going to go to the one, speed turned out of it, and got the pick on the vertical that he was knowing Peyton was going to throw.
Yeah.
Big time. And you see that on tape and you go, I don't even know if I'm going to try that. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm going to. I can't take any false steps to make Peyton Manning into a throw. That just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
I would have stayed in my pedal, just kept backpedaling.
There you go. 615.
I was like, dang, man. Wow. Woo!
615-737.
It must be something about the number 20.
1045 is the number. Let's get the phones. Go to Larissa. Larissa, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hi, you two. You guys make my heart smile. I swear I love this station. I'm forever driving. But I just wanted to say, everyone keep the faith and in regards to this team and the whole Levis and, people. The fans in this city are great. However, there was a fan that dropped the N-word to me today as I'm driving into East Nashville. You don't have to, it ain't that serious.
Yeah, I would say not. Oh, man.
Yeah, so, I don't play football. And if I did, God help everyone. But it's like, you don't have to, it's not that serious. This is one of the best cities you can ever live in, the best states. And music and sports bring folks together, but bring it down a notch. It's not, don't do that. Don't do that.
No doubt.
And keep the faith. So, but I love you guys. Bye.
Right, thank you.
Bye. See ya.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually impressed with the turnout. I don't know how many they're going to say that was at the game, but there was, and they were loud, by the way, and they were excited all the way to the end. There was still belief that they could win and tie this game up and win it. So I appreciate the fans. And by the way, I want to give, I don't give kudos to the Titans, but the organization on a salute to service there before the game, and then there at the halftime. It was pretty cool, man. That was pretty unique. I'm a little pissed off at myself for not getting a picture of that stuff, man. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, because did they do the surprise? Because we didn't get to see it on our end. Pregame or the surprise at halftime?
They did it. I think it was at halftime as well. I think they had Trace Atkins perform at halftime. I know they didn't show that on TV.
Gotcha.
And then the salute was at the beginning. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that was pretty cool. Great idea. Whoever came up with it.
Well, I was going to go to the phones. I figured Johnny Ray would be off, but I guess he's talking Ross's ear off over here. So as soon as Johnny Ray is off the phone with Ross, we'll bring him in. Johnny Ray, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Oh, how did you know it was Johnny Ray?
Hey, what's up, guys? Good afternoon. I just want to give you a quick reference point. I'm the guy who showed up. Blaine, you took a picture with me. I had the under construction sign.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was pretty fun. What happened going into the game?
Buck told everybody you got arrested.
He wouldn't go that far. He definitely said you guys got escorted out.
He didn't say you got arrested, but
well, Buck likes the drama.
Well, we got him back in line, but how did that go? Tell us the story.
So the sign was a little bit bigger than what they allow at the stadium.
Oh, so it was a size.
They turned us away. We ran over to the paramedics where they were parked in the parking lot, and those guys helped us out. We cut it into 4 pieces, and they gave us a roll of medical tape to assemble it when we got back inside the game.
I love it.
Okay. But still, Nissan security came, Titan security came down. They took the sign from us after they saw that we had reassembled it. But I get it, man. You got to have rules, and rules should be widely enforced, and there should be no gray areas. I understand that. But, man, I'm a season ticket holder. I'm there pretty much every game that I can be there. And for them to, make such a big deal for a Titans fan to bring a sign to a game like that, and then literally 2 rows in front of me, there's a Texans fan with a big foam cowboy hat on, waving a huge Texans flag that he got in the game somehow. I mean, come on. Give me a break. Amy Adams Strunk, if you're listening, take a trip down to West End. See what they're doing down there to build a fan base and create a positive experience for their fan base. Take a few pointers from them. You know what I'm saying? Vanderbilt has just went above and beyond to make a fan base in Nashville. I would say even a bigger fan base than what the Titans have. It's insane, the lengths they go to just make things difficult on people.
Oh. Yeah.
But I'm gonna just hang up and let you guys chat it out. Blaine, thanks for taking the time. Stand up, act. Always enjoy seeing you.
Appreciate it.
You guys keep it going. Tighten up.
Yeah.
Hey, tighten up.
But I was going to say to him, man, you guys got to get a little smarter before you go in there and cut it up before you go in. I mean, if the Texans had their flag in there, how did they get that big flag in there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that was all rolled up, but I guess he said they got it in there, taped it all together, and then they still took it from him.
Oh, no, you got to be a little more savvier.
That's okay. It's nothing.
There's been an emphasis on, I think Buck is the one brought awareness to me, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. That they were a stickler on all this crazy, signs and shirts and hat, whatever you're going to be doing. I don't know. That's when you had the bag hat, right?
Yeah. We asked.
Yeah.
But it's but see that Texans
flag
have the
shirts,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Texans flag's okay because it's not anything negative about the Titans. It's just Texans pride.
And also, what is the real size of it? Because this is where the rules get a little, the rules for signs are different. Is a flag a sign? Are they interpreting that as a sign? Because a sign has to be 22 by 28 inches, I believe, is what
I don't know.
Sign has wording on it.
Yeah, and sign has wording on it, flag doesn't. And then it's like, okay, no coarse language to be used. Well, that apparently includes T-shirts, not just verbally. So it's like, how are they interpreting the rules and how they're choosing to enforce it? Because of the flag, to me, even though it's not a sign per se, it's still the whole point of the sign thing is not to obstruct the view of other people, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
that could
the
be
flag
used for
would
that.
obstruct the view of everybody else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No technicalities there.
All right, coming up next, we'll go to more of your phones, Dustin and Alex. We'll also give out game balls and lame calls. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors, 615-737-1045. Game balls and lame calls coming up in just a moment. We'll see how it goes. New little segment, new little skit, I guess you could say.
I'm a fan.
You like it? You like game balls and lame calls?
The idea, yes.
The idea. We'll see how the execution goes. Everybody likes the idea. We'll see if we're the Tennessee Titans when it comes to execution. All right, let's go to Dustin real quick, though, in Franklin. Dustin, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, this is Justin. How you guys doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Good.
Doing good. So I was listening to a podcast, it's Joe Budden podcast, and they had on a guy, you might know him, his name is Zaire Franklin. And they asked Zaire, they said, what is the team that you feared the most out of all the teams you ever played? And do you know what team he said?
Who?
Tennessee Titans.
Mike Vrabel's Tennessee Titans. Now, I don't know what to deal with that. It's like he hit me while I was down. And I just want you guys to... it just gave me anxiety. I'm sitting around my New York friends, and they're listening to the pod, and they just really didn't react the way I did. But it was like a gut punch for no reason. I don't know why. I just want to hear y'all talk about that. We're hearing one of the number one linebackers, our rival, saying that Mike Vrabel's Tennessee Titans was the team that he feared the most. I'll hang up and listen.
Well, before you do that, did you drop to your knees in front of all your friends, like crying and get in the fetal position or something?
It was more like, when your stomach's real messed up and you're on the toilet and you have to touch the ground.
Yeah.
It was one of those.
Oh, gotcha. All right, thanks, thanks, Dustin. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I would think that probably out of all the teams that Zaire Franklin has faced when he was with the Indianapolis Colts, I would say that would probably be correct. I mean, it doesn't really affect me or anything, but I get why it would, some people, but I'm not surprised. That'd be like, Peyton Manning saying Tom Brady Patriots or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I think it was because of the timing. Vrabel's having success now, so you got to take that into account. But he had success during a period of time with the Titans when he was coach of the year, and they did really well with Tannehill, and they were dominant. They were in, they had, I think, the best record in the AFC, even going in or second or third or so. So, yeah, I get it. But then at the end, you should have asked him which Vrabel team, the playoff contending teams, or at the end, the last 2 years he was here.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have said the same thing.
That's probably
Maybe
true.
the only thing is just there's a feeling that the tough identity, like the Titans' tough identity is gone now. That's also, I think, a little bit due to personnel and also just how we run things now, like schematically.
But the scheme, right, with Henry running
but with
down
Derek and everybody and just the type of players we had, the more veteran team, that Titans tough mentality was strong in the Vrabel days.
Yeah, definitely. Because you knew it was going to be a physical game. You're going to wake up sore the next day, regardless win, lose, or draw. So, yeah, those are good days.
All right, let's go to Alex in Cleveland. Alex, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, how are you guys?
Doing good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Longtime fan, first-time caller.
All right.
Ah, sweet.
Right. So, obviously, this year sucked for the Titans. No way to put it other than that. But I'm curious, at this point, from what we've seen from Cam, who does he remind you of? Because I have a name in mind, and it's a little out there, but I just am curious what you guys think.
I don't know if I've really landed on a good one yet. I've kind of gone back to like Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, a couple of guys like that. But then I'm thinking, I just don't know if that's the right comp that I would really settle on. Do you have one at all, Blaine? I know I'm kind of fence sitting here, but
when you say style, or are you talking about the way he plays, or is his mindset? I think it's a little perplexing for me. I don't. Nobody comes to mind, to be honest.
So the one in my mind that is a little out there, just because he's having one of probably his best year ever, is Stafford, because the arm talent that I've seen out of Cam is just insane compared to what we've had in the past. And then his unwilling to run is also kind of reminds me of Stafford. What do you guys think?
Alex, I don't disagree. I don't agree at all. I don't see, maybe mentality I could go with, but I mean, Matt Stafford's arm talent is one of the best in the NFL to ever come across the NFL. And I just think Stafford is a totally I just can't get behind it. I just can't. Blaine, what do you think?
That definitely is not who it comes to mind.
That was definitely, he did say, I got one that's a little out in left field, and that one is maybe out in the parking lot.
And to be honest, Matthew Stafford, you could say what you want to say. He's only got one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, he, as far as his talent and some of the throws he makes is probably on par with maybe, one of the best in NFL history.
Yeah.
I don't see Cam Ward as a player that is one of the best throwers in NFL history.
Yeah.
So
the no-look passes alone.
Yeah, alone. This guy can make, and that's why he's, was demanding an extension. And that's because if he stays healthy, people can't do some of the things he does out there. So he's definitely not on par with that for me.
I feel like at the start, like just off the throwing motion, he was getting a lot of the Mahomes and Rodgers because of the sidearm a little bit. But the more I see him throw, I don't really see that as much. I almost see like Phillip Rivers isn't the best, but kind of that, just in the way the ball comes out of his hand. It comes out a little like from an awkward spot, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Rivers almost like shot putted it out of his hand.
He looked weird. Yeah.
Like Cam's delivery, it just looks a little weird. I see the sidearm at times, but it just consistently not enough.
Yeah, I see people that just don't like it just because they don't like the way it looks. Like they don't like Cam and think his future is going to be bright just because they don't like the way it comes out of his pocket. And they say his footwork is bad. They don't like it. I said, well, I just like to see if it gets to where it needs to get to. That's it. Hey, man, I'm not all this because everybody, we've seen quarterbacks throw the ball with their feet in the air. And it gets there on time. Like you could say, oh, he has his feet planted, so it's just nobody really. His mentality, though, I think as a gunslinger, there's a lot of quarterbacks I think you can relate to that.
Hey, stay with me now.
Are you going to say Jay Cutler?
No, stay with me now. Gardner Minshew. Got a little bit of Gardner in there.
I think he's a little more talented than him, but yes.
I can see where you go with that.
Talking about how it looks.
Yeah, Matt Stafford though. That one was definitely out of left field.
Yeah, I ain't saying like he is Gardner Minshew player wise.
But don't let that deter you from calling back in, Alex. I just want to say that just because we don't agree with you does not mean
Stafford
anything.
Is on an elite plane as far as just his talent, his throwing ability, man. It's kind of fascinating. I don't know if I really have seen someone. That's why I said what I said about the NFL. Like I don't know, man. And that's why I was so disappointing when he was with Detroit. Like this guy's this talented, and his career is going to go by, and people are going to forget about how talented he was.
Yeah,
like these guys golf and love, and they can't match up with Stafford.
No,
he's also like he is a pure pocket passer.
Yeah,
and Cam wants to stay in the pocket, but like. He's got the athleticism, I think, to run a little bit. Mm-hmm. Stafford's never really had that. He's been just a pocket guy.
Yeah. And by the way, the fans got so excited at the game while I was there, him running. That's about the most running I want him to do.
Yeah.
And granted, he is a true quarterback. He slid. Levis wouldn't have slid. Dart wouldn't have slid. A lot of these young guys are not. I think he understands where his limitations are, and he finally took it and said, "This is an opening. Nobody's open. I'm gonna go."
I thought it was really interesting that those also went up the middle of the field and not the edges. And I think Mike McCoy talked about it. I don't know if it's Mike McCoy or Cam Ward, but it's something about the speed going around the edges instead of going up the field or going through there. Like he has the speed and the wiggle to go through the middle, but maybe not to get to the edges. I don't know. That may not be nothing to it, but I thought that was interesting.
It's a field thing, whether it's outside or inside. You just got to know when to take off and run as a quarterback, as a pocket passer. It's a field thing, and you don't want to be running too often. You'll be like Dart, have 4 concussions already.
Yeah, well,
imagine if we had Brandon Allen out there, we wouldn't even have a shot of winning these games.
No. All right, game balls. Game balls and
That's
lane
the only
calls.
guy I leg whip every now
All
and
right. I'm going to let you go. You're going to give the inaugural game ball, Ross. Who are you giving your game ball to?
Whoa,
sorry.
We don't have any music to the
No, listen, that's
this is still a trial basis.
Well, that's also on me. I was at a doctor's appointment, was late getting here, and I have something in my head.
Oh, I was too.
I have something in my head for a theme and stuff. But
they weren't scanning your head?
They wouldn't. No, they weren't this time. My eyes, they were.
Blaine, this is like that Fubo free trial you and I did when ESPN and YouTube TV split up. It's
okay.
We're
go see if it works.
Right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, game ball, first inaugural.
I'm going to give it to Arden Key. I was very, very impressed by him yesterday. His energy is always great, but the rushes, him and Jeff working on their stunt game together, I thought was very productive. And I was just happy to see him back out there, too. I thought he had a great game.
I do, too. I thought that's a good one. I wouldn't have even thought to put Arden Key out there, but much deserved for Arden Key. My game ball is going to Chigakonkwo. I just think that he's done so much to help this offense move the ball down the field. He needs the ball targeted to him more. He obviously was asked to run this super wide receiver deep route down the field, came up with the ball, big spot. Have to give some props to Chigakonkwo for his game yesterday.
I really couldn't think of one when you're talking about a low-scoring game, so I wanted to lean into the defense. I don't know how great his game was. He was solid, but he's been solid all year, so I think he deserves this even at this point, and that's Cedric Gray.
Yeah.
I just think he's been consistent throughout, and this is what you want a young player to look like. And I know he's leading the league or somewhere thereabout in tackles. I know I heard people talk about he's going to be a Pro Bowl. You have to do that 1 year and then do it another year to really get a Pro Bowl kind of push when you're especially when you're on a team that's not winning. So that's going to be hard to push a guy like that to be a Pro Bowl player, but he's definitely playing at that level. And next year, if he duplicates that and they're at least a competitive middle of the field, road of wins and losses, I think Cedric Gray has definitely got the tools. So
and he can get better, right? Like
yes,
that's the good thing about Cedric Gray. We talked a little bit about it on the Titans Talk Back, but some of these young players that kind of stepped up here and there throughout this game. But I'm looking at Cedric Gray, and it just kind of hits me. He had 2 pass breakups yesterday. I thought he was pretty good in coverage, and that's probably been his biggest weakness to his game, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I think a lot of people say that. I haven't really seen that. I think coming out, that just kind of carried on with him.
And I think that when you talk about a guy that could, this isn't the best of Cedric Gray that we're seeing right now. Hopefully, knock on wood. But when you're talking about projecting out players and all this kind of stuff and draft, develop, and retain, and you're talking about all this stuff, this is a guy that maybe even next year in Cedric Gray could take that other step, that next step. And I think he has that mentality and approach to the game to do it, because what he's been able to do this year has been just, I think it has shocked everybody that he was able to do and show up this quickly after having a year where injuries and it was basically special teams. I mean,
it shows he put a lot of work in.
Put a lot of work
in. He's reading, diagnosing, and he's triggering, man. It's pretty impressive. Oh, yeah. That's what I loved about him. That's why I thought he was going to win out. When they start showing the competition between James Williams, he was on another level.
Yeah.
He looked like he was a vet. And he was making adjustments, changing point figures, telling everybody else where to go. That means he understands in totality just not his job, but other people's jobs, and that helps him excel at his job.
Yeah.
See, you got to know what the whole entire defense being a middle linebacker, especially with Cody Barton coming in, who's kind of the leader of the group.
Yep. All right, lame calls. And here, I'll start us off on this one. I got to go with Mason Kinsey. I mean, that sell.
Oh, my bad, real quick.
Okay.
So you went Cedric Gray too?
No. I went Chig. I went Chig.
Yeah. How can you go with the offensive guy that only put up 13 points?
He was the reason they scored the only points. That deep ball was great, and he was the leading receiver. And he was the leading receiver for the team. Listen, I know it wasn't a lot of receiving yards, but what I'm saying is, I think he deserves more opportunity because he's been the most reliable guy.
He does.
I'm going to give him some props. I know.
It's just like
I almost went defense, but I figured both of you guys would go defense.
Okay, I didn't know who I was going to go with, to be honest.
Real quick. Is lame calls about a player? Or
no, it could be about anything bad that you do not like about this team.
Gotcha.
So if you don't, if you want to say the lame calls or the coaching staff for not going on 4th and 2, you could do that. But if you want to say if it's a specific player, that's fine. Hey, listen,
you went lame, we went Kinsey.
Yeah. Well, so props to Mason Kinsey for stepping up into the role that maybe he wasn't exactly prepared for or ready to go into. I mean, he was called in last minute on these things. But that sell route, and I get that he's shorter than most wide receivers in terms of length, I guess I should say, in terms of length. And I get that was going to be a high degree difficulty of catch, but that's a catch you got to make over the sidelines. But also the one deep, he got turned around. There's just no other way around it. He got turned around, and it didn't really cost the team, but it cost the team, if that makes sense. So I have to give a little lame call to Mason Kinsey, unfortunately. Ross?
You got yours? If not, I'll go.
You go.
Oh, well, it says here, lame calls. The lame call on Jeffrey Simmons on the field goal block. I mean, come on, man. He didn't even touch the guy. I don't even know the rule. And I was going around, I wanted to make sure I understood the rule. He didn't touch his head, shoulder, or anything of that nature. So that was a lame call.
I think his hip, when he got pushed into the guy, his hip maybe grazed the shoulder neck area, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, man.
And the fact that's not a part of the reviewable plays.
Oh, that just sickened me, man. I had to go to the bathroom after that because I was, I was so disgusted. I was about as disgusted as Jeff Simmons was out there putting on a tantrum out there, man. But, golly, man, because that could have cost them. It eventually didn't. So, because they missed the field goal, didn't they? Didn't they hit that right?
Yeah, they missed the field goal on that play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They ended up getting the ball back
they
anyway.
They went for it on fourth down, and they didn't get it. So, but it's just the fact that was horrendous. If somebody knows the rule or could correct me on that, I'd love to know it because everybody up there in the media said that was a bad call.
Yeah.
I'll just say Latham with the penalties. I thought he actually played like a good game from tackle, just in blocking wise. But with the penalties, like, I know you're still a young guy, in quotes, but you've played enough now. I know Cam was having, some cadence switch ups in certain plays, but like, you got to know better. Just rein in those penalties. I trust J.C. Latham. I don't expect this to be a lingering
It's
thing.
an outlier of a game, penalty wise.
But it was just, there were some at, just unfortunate times yesterday.
Yeah. They overcame them, though.
Yeah,
just want to throw that out there.
They were trying to, yes.
Yeah.
Well, they did for the most part.
I was listening to Will and Ramon this morning, and I remember Will said he went down and they had changed the cadence for certain situations, I guess, when they pass rush, I guess in certain situations. I didn't understand how he presented it. I know I understood what Ramon said. If they change their cadence specifically for this game, that is coaching. You cannot do that.
Well, I agree with you.
Do that. If that came from a coach's perspective throughout the week, you screwed your own players. Now, I'm going to give you an example of how coaches can screw a player in that situation. I'm going to give an example when we play. We were a man-to-man team. So all of a sudden now when we get to the Super Bowl, we're gonna guard the greatest show on turf and play zone? No, we're going to do what we do best, and you stick with what you do best. You can't try to change your cadence just because they have an elite pass rush and you feel like you're undermanned because you're not good enough. You just screwed your own players. So if that is the case, I hope it's not, but that's kind of how I heard it. I might have misheard it. I think that you can't do that. To me, that's people who are coaching and haven't been in a coach's shoe to change that like that. You can't do that. You mess up timing, you mess up everything. And you can't do that. I don't care if you practice for 2 weeks. If you've been calling the cadence a whole nother way, you screw your players. You got to think about, are you screwing your players or are you helping your players? And that did not. I can't believe. If that is true, I'm discouraged.
I'm with you. I want to talk more about this when we come back, and we'll also get to Ed in Jersey who wants to talk about Tennessee Titans. We'll talk about J.C. Latham and everything that went on with his game yesterday. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
You might not know this, but there's an auto repair company that pays its mechanics more than the repair shops that you know of in this area. Hey, it's Blaine Bishop for Eurofix. And why would Eurofix do that? A decent technician can make 50 to 60 grand a year. And a good technician that's pretty fast can make up to 120,000 a year. Man, I need to maybe be a technician, right? And a really, really fast technician can make over 180,000 as a mechanic here in Tennessee. So can you believe that? And a lot of people look down on the mechanics, and they shouldn't. Local owner Aaron Stokes is an ex-mechanic, and mechanics are what make the world go round. And everything out there has to be worked on. So did you know that Eurofix is not open on the weekends? And you say, why? Because Eurofix wants their kids, moms and dads, and who are employed to have their weekends so they can spend time together and not apart on the weekends. And Aaron Stokes figured out a long time ago, if home life is happy, guess what? Or unhappy, yeah, your life will be unhappy or happy. So that's why Eurofix is open Monday through Friday. And European vehicles fixed at below dealer pricing. You also get a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all repairs at Eurofix that they perform. In 5 locations in Tennessee. But all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or online at myeurofix.com. That's myeurofix.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Let's go to Ed out in Jersey. Ed, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for taking the call. I got to get something off my chest. I'm agitated about Simmons' comments. I am fine with him making generic comments about how they have to play more complementary football and to cut down on the mistakes. But I thought he crossed the line once he started getting into specifics about Friday's practice and calling out a positional group. Do we want the captain of the team to be teaching the young players on the team that it's okay to call out other position groups or players in the media? I mean, I don't care if he's done it privately first. That doesn't give him license to do that. And to me, that's a lack of leadership.
Yep, that's what I said earlier in the show, Ed. So I appreciate that.
Okay, and I'm sorry if I saw that. I'm sorry if I heard that earlier. I missed earlier comments, Blaine. But to me, all you're talking about now you're giving media fodder. Now, you makes a great soundbite, but now you've got questions of Jihad Ward. You got Cam Ward answering questions. You got the coach answering questions about pitting one against the other. It's just foolish, and he should have kept his mouth shut. That's all. Thank you, guys, and I apologize if I missed it.
No, it was in the first hour, so it was
no,
a
you're
while
good.
back.
You're good.
We had a good.
Thank you, Ed.
On that.
But yeah,
you start pointing fingers. Eventually the finger gets pointed back at you because the defense.
Right.
So they didn't make plays when they should have, and you just got to make sure. To me, the leadership is not. To me, you should be offense and defense, and the leaders handle each other, and you go. Leadership group goes and, has a conversation about what's going on either side of the ball because you really don't know. You're not in their meetings. You don't know what was discussed. So you kind of have a better feel for that. But you never want to publicly go after your teammates because you're frustrated and you're tired.
Talking in the locker room is much different than talking in the media. No one is advocating, not even Ed, who just called in, no one's advocating that Jeffrey Simmons should just not say anything.
I'm talking about any level, too.
Yeah,
I mean, Ross played sports in high school. I mean, did anybody point fingers like that publicly or on social media?
No, because it wouldn't have gone well.
See, that's what I'm saying. See? I mean, it's just...
Again, because people in the chat are like, well, you guys are wusses. Where's the accountability?
I get why the media wants that, but you don't publicly bring accountability out in the public. Watch this. When you get in a fight with your brother or sister when you were growing up, I'm assuming you had one. If you didn't, you don't understand. I didn't. But that never comes out that happened. You could have gotten in a fight. But that's not talking. You could have gotten in a heated discussion. No, you don't air your dirty laundry to the public. You're supposed to be brothers. That's what it is. And to me, that is not good leadership. I'm sorry. I will never cave in on that. For us, for the media, it was perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not. No way. I'm on that other side. But as far as a former player, no way. No way. No how.
And again, just to, these people in the chat, it's not about what they say in the locker room to each other. In fact, you would probably encourage the locker room discussions. It's bringing the locker room out into the media to talk to strangers about your all's issues. Yeah. We're not technically a psychiatrist for everybody, in other words, right? Like, I mean, patient-doctor confidentiality. Locker room confidentiality in some situations.
Your teammates in bind now, they have to answer these questions that they don't want to be even a part of. And then you have to support them because then you look like now, all of a sudden you're going against them. Yeah. Just imagine if Cam Ward said, well, I view it a little differently than Jeffrey Simmons does.
Yeah, Cam didn't say that, but Cam's a little media savvy. I just want to throw that out there.
He definitely is. He's a little more, but he's out. Yeah, I support. But behind the scenes, there's going to be a conversation not only from the players, but I'm sure from the leadership group as well as, and could get to the point where the coaches are talking to the leaders on offense and defense. I mean, it's when you're losing that could really go in a bad direction. It could pit the teams against each other. And guess what? I've been on a team that pitted the offense versus the defense. And when I was a rookie, Buddy Ryan pitted the offense versus defense. But matter of fact, he said that the offense stunk up so bad, he told us to go in halfway through practice because they don't deserve to go against us because they're going to lose us a Super Bowl ring. He said that right in front of that coach. I was like, what? Oh, my gosh.
And listen, this could provide a spark the other way, too, right? But the problem is that you don't know when you're making these comments, you don't know how it's really going to play out.
Yeah, I go to the caller, though, that this is the form of leadership that you're teaching the other younger players that are foundational pieces for your team. Call out guys publicly. I just don't see any good out of it. What good can come out of that? That'll be really interesting. May not be no bad, but but what good can can come out of that.
If maybe this was a more veteran offense, I wonder, like, if Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and Taylor Lewan were in that locker room, I wonder if those comments...
I think there's something to that. I think if you have a veteran team, I don't think it's... But when you're talking about a young team that's trying to grow and trying to fight to find a way to win games at the end and play consistent, man, I could I just don't know in this era of player. I'm not in locker rooms. I just don't... If you go around and ask guys who are 25 to 27 that are in the league now, do they want to be publicly criticized by their teammates? I think I'd get 100% on that. No. But what do you think?
My first instinct
publicly
was
criticized by your own teammate.
Right.
Like,
my first instinct was, I kind of like it. I liked what he said. I like that he also mentioned that he talked to everybody in there and he used a lot of we. But the more that I talk about it with you, the more I could see the things. It's one of those things where it could go way sideways, and everybody that's praising it right now, what if they
everyone's
splinter
praising
further?
it that's the media or a fan, right?
Right. So those guys,
the guys in the locker room.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The media and the fans who are praising it now. What if this thing goes completely even worse than what you got right now, and you start having infighting and stuff like that? Then what are you thinking about those comments? I don't know how this team will respond into the situation they're in, because right now we haven't seen them respond very well to anything. But this is just it could go south so easily. Comments like that.
When you're losing for sure, and a young team, I would have never done that if I'm on a young team, and this me. That's just not my style. I understand.
It's kind of like the A.J. Brown
different
comments up there where he's talking about, well, don't even start me in fantasy because I'm not even getting the ball.
But he's on a veteran team.
Yeah, but he's on a veteran team that can handle it and all that kind of stuff. And that's the difference, I think, taking into account this conversation, is a lot of young players who don't know really how to handle it all.
Yeah. He's been doing a really good job. He finally just boiled over, and I just think it was frustration, but...
I think he kind of views JC as his problem child a little bit, or project.
Yeah, because I go back to that Mike Silver thing too, that article where he's calling out JC Latham at practice, and I'm thinking, man, he's got a real issue with JC Latham.
And he didn't call him out
specifically, but he called him out.
About
he didn't call him out, but he called him out. And we know that they got into it on the sidelines, yelling at each other and had to be separated.
Is that what happened? It was them?
It was them too. Yeah. We'll talk more about JC Latham tomorrow. We'll also have Coach Mack on as well. 3HL's Up Next has been covered too with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone. And in the meantime.
And in between time.
Peace.